so this morning I had an awesome experience. And, damn, it's like affected me so bad that I'm gonna call that friend that I used to have in Texas. I'm gonna call her up tomorrow. I looked on the internet and, you know, like a lot of places, like, I mean, a lot of companies or whatever try to charge you, you know, to find out like where people live and stuff, when all you gotta do is punch in their name and city and state, and then boom, everything comes up. All of her phone numbers, email addresses, where she lives. I didn't know she used to live in California. Apparently, maybe a long, long time ago. And but she's 81 now. And I know I emailed her a few years ago, and she never emailed me back. So I think she's just probably not, you know, really getting on her computer. I mean, as far as I know, she's not in a nursing home or anything. But a doctor told her that she wouldn't live to a ripe old age, because at age 50, she fell out of a deer blind, or whatever it's called, a deer stand or whatever, you know, up high, and she was paralyzed for like 6 months, and then she came out of it, and now she could walk and everything, or since the age of, you know, 50 or whatever, she was able to walk and everything. But I don't know when she started with the cane. She maybe had the cane even, you know, right after she came out of the or her paralysis or whatever, paralysis. She may have, but anyway, when I knew her, she was like 66, 67, 68, and you know, she had, you know, she kind of walked with a cane, you know, because she you know, she injured her spine or whatever. But yeah, and she's 81. I mean, that's already elderly. Stupid doctor saying that she won't live to a ripe old age, and she's 81 and she's still alive. So I'm going to try to call her tomorrow, because it's like, it's weird. Yeah, some of these, I don't know, the aliens, man, they could really affect your brain and stuff. And it was so real. Well, all my experiences are so real. But okay, so basically, but anyway, yeah, her email addresses came up, her phone number. She may not have a landline anymore, but she probably does. Landline, phone number, address, like everything. Oh, I still have it right here. I didn't close out of it, did I? Oh, no, I didn't. It's right here. LJL. That's her initials. But yeah, I don't know how she's doing now. My other friend, Brenda in Texas, she said, you know, a few years ago, she was really slowing down or whatever. But, but like Brenda didn't even contact her for over 20 or 30 years. She was like a friend of her grandma or aunt or something like that. I forgot what Brenda said. And, I don't know why Brenda decided to, I think Brenda is a freaking gold digger, and I think that's why she decided to call her up or something. And because I remember Linda said she put her in her will, and Linda's loaded. She has, you know, a few million, you know, assets and everything. And so I don't know. That's probably why Brenda contacted her, to try to be a gold digger. But anyway, they started like they would fight and stuff when I was in Texas or whatever, and Linda would tell me, "Yeah, I'm taking her out of the will, taking her out of the will." But the thing is, I bet she probably won't give Brenda shit. And she don't need anything anyway, because her house is worth $1 million in Austin, Texas. So she's gonna make bank when she sells her house. But Linda doesn't have any kids, of course, so she's gonna give all of her shit to, or most of it all, maybe just a tad bit to Brenda, but most of it all to her nieces. I think it was 2 nieces or 3 nieces or 2 nieces and 1 nephew. But they're all very religious, and they're not, like, they don't want her shit. They're all very religious, and they are not materialistic. So, I mean, they're just going to take the money and give it to the church, you know what I'm saying? $5 million or whatever. Which is kind of sad, because, you know, like if you're going to give money to somebody, well, I don't know, you probably want to give it to poor people and, like, reptile sanctuaries, cat sanctuaries, animal sanctuaries, like where you know it's really going to do good, you know? But yeah, but anyway, okay, so I only knew Linda for about 3.5 years, but you may as well say 2.5, because I probably didn't really hang out with them that last year I was in Texas. But I mean, we hung out a lot, so I mean, it's like I knew him, just almost like, yeah, like they were my relatives or something, like aunt and sister or whatever, you know what I mean? So I knew them like pretty well. And well, it all goes deeper than that, but so Linda lives in Junction, Texas. Well, shit, I don't want to get to thinking about the 3D shit. That's gonna screw me up. But anyway, so and that's about 2 hours and 45 minutes away from Austin, Texas. It's the start of the hill country in Texas. But anyway, so okay, so in this, okay, so the scenario started out, it was like her house. I don't know if I was gonna eventually live there or eventually she was gonna give it to me, but it was like, in the scenario, either it was gonna be mine or I was gonna take over the house eventually, and that's all, you know, the mindset and stuff, that's all I remember. Like, I don't, like, Joel didn't program it exactly, you know, that she was going to give it to me or whatever. It was just somehow I was going to be taking over that house, but I don't know if she was going to give it to me or whatever. But, so in the scenario, it started out, I was okay, well, in real life, her house is pretty big. I mean, it's pretty nice, pretty big on the river, but it's not that big, you know what I'm saying? In the scenario, you know, oh my God, well, the kitchen and stuff was small and similar to like her real life kitchen, but okay, so the scenario started, I was roaming around the hallways, and now at this point, I don't know where she was. She was off in another room or something, and I just kept going into this room, that room, this room, that room, because she had already started to clear stuff out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess she was already going to, you know, move someplace else, or maybe a nursing home or something like that. But that thought wasn't really part of the scenario, the nursing home. But it's like she was gonna eventually move out, like really soon. And, and she had already moved a lot of the stuff out of the huge bedrooms that I was going into. I went into at least 3 or 4, and like that was like nothing like, you know, in real life, you know what I'm saying? And Joel always makes me do that. Like, I'm just going in all these rooms and just, it was so, I'm meticulously like cleaning, or meticulously like seeing how I'm gonna set it up and clean it and blah 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 blah. But anyway, so I went into one room and it was freaking huge. It had to be at least, and all these rooms were like oblong, like rectangle. And like I said, I went into at least 3 rooms. Huge. Like at least 2, shit, I don't know. 2, no, I would say, I don't know, 2,000 square feet maybe? But I don't know, they were just huge. So I went into one room. Okay, and so I started, and it was all empty. It was basically, I mean, 100% empty. Except there would be like 1 or 2 closets. I would walk into the closet, and I'd be like, okay, well, she just left like a couple towels up there, you know, couple dolls down here. And I was like, okay, well, I'll probably, you know, clear all that out eventually, you know, like when I, you know, take over the house or whatever. And so I was just meticulously looking in the closets, and she had always left. She left a few things in each closet, just a few things here and there, here and there. And then I would go into another room, and then I would check out, and it would be like totally empty, except for I'd look into the closets, and I'd be like, okay, there's a few Tupperware things here, a few clothes or whatever on the shelves. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll clear all that out eventually. It won't be too much work to clear all that out, because I'm kind of OCD in the scenario. Joel knew I was OCD, and in the scenario I was OCD. And if I was going to take over the house, I knew I just didn't want any leftover shit, in the closets and stuff. And so I did that like 3 times. Went into this huge room, and then another huge room, and then another huge room. And then, I know there was another time I went into like a little living room area, and there was like a small little wine holder shelf, Billy Bob, a wine cooler thing, refrigeration thing. I forgot what they're called, but it stores wine and stuff in it. And I remember seeing that. And at this point, like I say, I don't know where well, actually, at this point, I had thoughts of, like, I knew that she was back there in that room that she used to hang out with, like, at Brenda's house. Except in the scenario, I was actually at Linda's house, but I had thoughts of her being in that room that in real life we used to stay in, her back bedroom, which was really, really big, and watch TV and stuff in there. Because she had a roommate. Brenda had a roommate. And so if Linda would come over, me, Linda, and Brenda would stay back there in that room and watch TV and talk and stuff. Ew, it always smelled like dog. Because Brenda has dogs, and she had carpet, man, and the carpet retained that dog smell. But anyway, so I did have thoughts of that, and but I didn't see her yet in the scenario. And then, okay, so then after like that, I went inside this other room, which was smaller. And that was the room that I had been staying in her house. I had been staying in that room for a few days, and it was large, but not as large as the other 3 or 4 rooms that I went into. And it wasn't empty. There was a few things in there. And the funny thing is, when I looked down on the floor, there was this big old comforter. I mean, a huge comforter that was covering the whole floor. And I know why Joel did that, because in the scenario, I was like, okay, eventually I'm going to take this comforter up, so I could clean the carpet underneath. Like Joel knows I like to cover stays up until I get around to cleaning them. So that's why he did that. And the comforter it had a lot of colors on it. It was colorful. It was red and a bunch of other colors. But I mean, it was a pretty big bedroom, and it covered the whole freaking floor. And there was a bunch of other stuff in there too, like books, and there was a bed, and like a dresser. And that was a room that I had been spending the night in for a few days or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, what was that? So like my mom came into the scene, and we end up in her kitchen, and this kitchen was very similar to her kitchen in real life. And oh no, let me back it up. Yeah, we ended up, well, yeah, basically where her bedroom is, except in real life, her bedroom is not right there near the kitchen. But it was, my mom popped into the scene, and we were standing there near her bedroom and the kitchen. And it's like my mom was behind me, and as I walked by her bedroom, she was still sleeping in the bed. The door was open, and I saw her legs. I saw her, skinny little legs just, sitting there. She was sleeping on her back. But I didn't see her face or anything, at that time, but I knew it was her because she lives in her house, by herself. And I knew that was her. And I was like, crap, I better be quiet, as I walked past her. And then me and mom were in the kitchen area, and then eventually she wakes up, and she walks into the kitchen, and she had like this big white robe on, and I thought surely she was gonna get mad because we came to visit her, just on a whim. Like, it's like me and mom came to visit her on a whim. I don't know, I can't remember, I mean, in the scenario, I don't know if she knew that I was sleeping in another room in her house for a few days or not. But anyway, it's, these experiences don't really make sense, because Joel just puts a bunch of mumble jumble details in my brain and creates a scenario for me. So anyway, so she walked by, and we were walking over there like to the table, and we sat down at the table, and then she, walks by and sits at the table, and I thought surely she was gonna be mad because we just like went to visit her and we didn't even tell her we were gonna visit her, and I thought she was gonna get mad or something, but she didn't, and I honed in on her face, and she looked probably a little bit different than in real life, but she looked pretty similar. But yeah, she looked a lot older. I mean, yeah, she looked, like 81, and I don't know what she looks like at 81 because I only knew her when she was 67, 66, and 68. And so that was kind of funny. And then she was just kind of saying like, when do you want to cook breakfast and blah, 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 blah. And, we eventually cooked breakfast and stuff. And then another part of the scenario, for whatever reason, I like hurried, and we talked a lot, and she was just kind of like, what have you guys been doing, for the past several years, and she was just talking to my mom, and she was saying stuff like that, and eventually, I think I snuck out of the table, up from the table, and I went over to the left where the kitchen is, and her bedroom was over there to the left of the kitchen, and the table was way over to the right. And in real life, yeah, Joe made the kitchen pretty similar, except there's not a bed. Oh no, there is a room right there near her kitchen, but it wasn't Linda's bedroom. That was just a little, cause me and Brenda slept in it one time. That was a guest bedroom. Yeah, it was really cold in there too, I remember. Shit, was it really cold or really hot? Shit, I can't remember. But it was either really hot or really cold. And, yeah, and so Joel, he had that right. He made it very similar, except in the experience, that was Linda's bedroom. And in real life, her bedroom was way on the other side of the house. And, it's a really big bedroom, and she lives in that, that bedroom, or she stays in that bedroom. And the other two bedrooms are very small. And yeah, Joel had all that right because the room that she was in was very, very small, that she was sleeping in on her back. And so anyway, so it's like I got up from the table and I wanted to hurry up and like make my blueberry banana smoothie like undetected. Like I didn't want her to see me, like to hurry up, and I hurried up and was blending it up over there at the table, at another table, on the kitchen counter, and I didn't want her to see me for whatever reason because she like came over there and she was just kind of like asking me questions and stuff, and I was just kind of like, oh well, I can't eat certain things and blah 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 blah. But anyway, it's like I was trying to hurry up and make a smoothie undetected, because my mom was over there with Linda and talking and everything, and I think my sister was there too. I'm pretty sure my sister was there, but she wouldn't have popped into the scene till then. And yeah, and so it's like my sister, my mom, and Linda, and I wanted to hurry up and just kind of like get up and go make my smoothie like undetected. And anyway, so after that, okay, hold on. But man, it was just, that's the only way I know how to describe it is Joel will stick me in these houses, mansions, whatever, and I'm just like having so much fun just going into this room, going into that room, like endless rooms, endless bathrooms, endless rooms, and I'm just meticulously like, oh, I'm gonna just, clean it this way, clean it that way, set it up this way, set it up that way, and blah, 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 blah. He does that over and over and over again. And, oh, fuck, where's those words I wrote down? Hold on, I wrote these words. How come I didn't save it? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, maybe I wrote it down on this. No, it's still 7-0. 7-0. No spraying. Grand 1000. Okay, hold on. Well, I remember what I wrote anyway. Well, I thought this saved it. Hold on. There it is. Okay, this is kind of funny. Okay, so after, well, like I say, I can talk about these experiences and, if I really wanted to, like 10 to 30 minutes. But, I mean, it just doesn't give the experience justice, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's just so much fun just like going into all these huge bedrooms and then checking out the closets, and it's just so fun. It's so weird. Okay, so anyway, this other part was kind of funny. Okay, so a couple times in real life when I went there to Junction, Texas, you know, we did leave the house and we would go get like Dairy Queen or whatever. So in this scenario, we did leave the house at least one time after we ate breakfast and all that. It's like we left the house. I don't actually remember getting into a car or anything. But the scene jumped to, it's like we were at a gas station. And I'm sure there is a gas station in that little town. I know there's this big nature area that we went to. I forgot what it's called. And then there's a Dairy Queen. It's a small town of like 600 people, I think it is, 600. But anyway, so I went to this gas station, and I picked up this blue bag. This was like a normal blue color, like a blue trim. It wasn't all completely blue, but it was like 80% blue, and then like the words in the middle were like, they were either black or white, and I can't remember the color of the words, but they were either black or white, and I think they were black, but the whole package was blue. And I picked up a bag of chips, and they were called Trillos. 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 And I don't know if that name really exists, but they were called Trillos. And I know Joel was trying to copy off, you know, bags of chips that I have in my brain, you know, from before, seeing bags of chips. And I started eating them, and they were corn chips. And I looked on the ingredients, and it said corn. And I was like, And I was like, okay. I kept eating them, and they tasted good. They tasted just like corn chips, like those, not McDonald's, those Walmart corn chips that I used to eat. And I was looking on the ingredients, and I'm like, shit, it has corn in them. And I was like, okay, I'm sitting here eating them, but I'm not reacting or anything. And so I was happy about that, because I'm allergic to all grains. And in real life and in the scenario, I knew I was allergic to all grains. And so I looked at the ingredients, and you know, it said corn, and I was like, okay, I'm sitting here eating them, but I'm not reacting. So then I had these thoughts of, okay, well, maybe I'm only allergic to whole corn instead of ground up corn. And anyway, but I know Joel got that from a coworker. You know, she's allergic to corn, and she still eats it. I'm like, how can you be allergic to something and you still eat it? But she still eats it. She obviously isn't having a bunch of, you know, nervous system problems and all that. She's just having diarrhea and stuff the next day. But with me, when I have allergic reactions, it messes up my whole freaking system. It's not just cleans you out. I mean, it fucks up your whole system. You know what I'm saying? Your nervous system, you know, headaches, heart, chest pain, low blood sugar problems and shit like that, severe dizziness and shit like that. But she obviously just gets the shits. So like the next day, you know, she'll say she'll get the shits, you know, but she says ground up corn might not bother her so bad. It's like when she eats whole corn and popcorn, like the next day she'll pay the price, you know. But yeah, she knows she's allergic to it. She still eats it. And she's also having a problem with wheat. She says like that'll make her constipated. She's not celiac, but she's having a severe problem with grains. A lot of people are. But anyway, so in the scenario, that's where Joel got that from, you know, with the whole corn and the ground up corn. But yeah, on the bag it was called Trillos, and I know Joel was probably trying to make it some Mexican term, you know, because there's a lot of Mexicans in Texas and shit like that, you know? So that was kind of interesting. So then, okay, so the last part of the scenario, and I'm sure I'm probably forgetting just a little bit, but I pretty much remember, I mean, I'm not forgetting anything, just forgetting maybe some of the exact words we were saying at the table, you know, when we were eating lunch, breakfast. I know I'm forgetting some of the conversations, but as far as all the bam, 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 all the scenes and stuff, I'm pretty sure I remembered everything. Okay, so the last part of the scene, now this is really weird. Okay, so, okay, wait, hold on. 1,000 grand, fuck, hold on. Trying to remember something. Okay, it was 1,000 grand. It was whipped cream. It was whipped cream. A thing of whipped cream right there. But I'm trying to. Oh, shit. What was it? It was whipped cream. Grand. Oh shit. Okay. Well. Okay. So I'm only forgetting one small part. God damn it. Why did I not write it down? That's why I wrote down the Trillos, because I didn't want to forget. And the 1,000 grand, but there was many other words on the whipped cream. Okay, but anyway, what was it? It was like some pastry sitting there and some, what do you call it? What's that called? Sundae. What's that called? Banana sundae or whatever it's called. Banana split. Okay, so anyway, the next part of the scenario, it was like we were walking along the street and there were these little tables set up. Not booths, but like tables. Bam, 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 bam. These little sections of tables. And it was almost like it was getting ready to be like a what do you call it? A banana split eating contest or whatever. And but there were some other things on the table. That's what I fucking can't remember. And I should have freaking wrote it down because that's what I can't remember. But there was like some Pop-Tarts and some like some bananas, what do you call it? Banana split sitting there. But there were some other things too, and that's what I freaking can't remember. But anyway, so it was all of that like sitting there, the same thing at each little compartment. And there was these big, like as big as those big old hairspray that we used to buy, Aquanet hairspray I used to buy when I was younger. Big ass can like that. It was these big old cans of whipped cream that were sitting there, like 2 cans per table. And I looked at the fine details of the whipped cream, and it said like 1,000 grand on it. 1,000 grand. And then there was all these other words underneath, and I was trying to, like the brand name. No, the 1,000 grand was like the brand name. But then I had all these other details about it underneath, and I was reading them really clearly, but I can't remember the other words, but I remember the 1,000 grand. And there was, some red and white on the whipped cream cans, red, paint and white paint, and, or red label and white labels. And, but it was like people were about to sit there and have like a banana split eating contest or whatever. But I know there was some other things on the table, and that's what I can't remember on the tables. But now that I realize, it said 1,000 grand, and then there was the word whipped cream, but like there was some other words that I was reading under there, all the fine details, but I can't remember the other words. And those were black letters, I do remember that. A lot of the lettering was black letters, and I was trying to read them and everything. But I can't remember exactly what all that said. But, the 1,000 grand, now I realize Joe was copying off of that candy bar. And I did have some of those candy bars on the brain recently, but not necessarily the 1,000 grand. All those Almond Joy I had on the brain, and Mounds, and Hershey's Kisses, but I don't remember having 1,000 grand on the brain. But that doesn't matter, because when I was walking along the candy aisle, if I saw 1,000 grand, which I probably did, it's still stored in my brain. So he could still take that, even though I wasn't aware that, I wasn't thinking about it or anything like that, like when I saw it. Because 1,000 grand or grand 1,000, whatever, that's the name of that candy bar. And, like I said, I can't remember if when I was looking at the candy bars and stuff. Yeah, like those Mounds and stuff is gluten-free, and Almond Joy is gluten-free, but I'm not about to eat that shit. There's major chemicals in there, and I know if I tried to eat it, I would be able to taste the chemical. I'm not afraid I would react or anything. Just as long as I didn't sit there and eat 20 candy bars, if I just ate one here and there. But, I can taste chemicals, so I'm not about to... The Hershey's Kisses doesn't have any chemicals in them. I don't even know if I can tolerate that. I haven't eaten chocolate in over 2 years. But I'm going to try eventually. But yeah, I just realized that. I didn't realize that until now when I was doing the video, that's what he was trying to copy off, that 1,000 grand candy bar. But this was the brand name of the whipped cream. And like I say, so basically, that was basically all the scenes of the scenario. But it was so much fun. And, oh my God, it lasted hours and hours and hours and hours. And but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering everything except for the couple of items that were on each of those tables. But it was like Pop-Tarts, and then the Sunday, banana Sunday, what's it called? Banana split. But like I said, I know there was some other stuff on there, on the tables. And there was like at least 5 or 6 of them. And like I say, it was like they were about to have a contest or something. Okay, well, I think I said everything. Thanks for listening.